Elite Managers Game World Americas, coming soon in January 2025, including clubs from USA, Canada, Mexico, Colombia, Peru, Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, and Brazil, from the makers of Elite Managers Game World, EMG MENA, and EMG Africa. Further updates to come in November, December, and hopefully launching in January 2025. Keep up for news. Episode of the Elite Managers Game World podcast. This is an end of season special for Mainworld. There will obviously be another one next week, which will be a normal one. However, just because the main game world ended last week, we thought we'd fit another one in. There'll also be a couple of others previews for the Connect Cups. I'm joined by Neri, as usual. Neri, Leverkusen, Raja Casablanca, and Kane Pillars boss. And we've got two guests today. So we've got Jaden on call, who's the Athletic Bilbao boss, and then Atletico Madrid, Kaiser Chiefs, and Club Africa manager Jay Jones will be on in a bit. Welcome, Jaden.
Hello?
You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Brilliant. So you've had a pretty good season with Bilbao.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't expect it at first. More or less, starting the season, trying to get a promotion, and ending taking the title.
Yeah, so obviously you've been Bilbao boss for quite a long time. You've Bilbao. You've been in charge since February 2023, so coming close to 2 years now. I think this is your first time getting promoted. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the first time getting promoted.
Yeah. So obviously, and it's actually Bilbao's first ever league title in 4 years. Obviously, congratulations. You pipped out Bojan to it, who obviously with that pretty stacked Everton team, probably was a bit disappointed he didn't win. Obviously, he got promoted still, but obviously it's some achievement to obviously get Bilbao up into Division two. Obviously, I think Bilbao have previously been in Division two quite a while ago, back in 2022. But obviously, for you to get them up into to win the league, and obviously get into Champions Cup as well, it's probably going to be quite something that's taken obviously a long time to get to.
Yeah, it's been a journey, especially from the start. But I feel the squad is now in a position where I like it, where they have potential in terms of the players. So I'm more trying to go off this win and build on it. So first, stay in Division 2 and try and move up.
Yeah, so obviously looking at your squad briefly, we've got obviously you've got obviously 30 players. You've got 8 players over 90 rated, including some players in their prime. You've got Ben White, Marcus Thuram, Basuma. The only one, obviously, Icardi and Carrasco, both over 30. But obviously, as well as some other young talents. Do you want to just go through your current stars and all that in your team and any plans of
Yeah,
what you?
so the clear star for me in the whole team right now is Thuram. He had, I think, 16 goals and 12 assists this season, which I would assume would be the most goals in the whole game world. and he honestly carried the team for majority of the season. So I would say he's no doubt the star of the squad, and that's why I made him the captain for all the season.
Yeah, so obviously you are correct there. Actually, Turam did actually get the most goals in the whole main world. Obviously, with his 16 goals and 10 assists, nearest would have been Harry Kane at Arsenal in Division One. They got 15. But yeah, obviously, looking into the next year, obviously first you've got the Connect Cup that you'll be in. Obviously, Bilbao could be a dark horse maybe if they get a lucky draw, but also as well, you'll have obviously Division Two to look forward to. And obviously, the Division Two next season's probably going to be a little bit easier than it was this season with certain teams going up. Um, I'm going to guess you're going to be looking forward to battling in Division Two and testing yourself against the best in EMG in a couple of weeks in the Champions Cup.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to try and push the boys to go as far as they can, because I know the team might not be the largest in the division, but I feel it's strong enough to certainly compete in some sense.
Yeah. Obviously, Neri's rejoined now. Neri, have you got any questions for Jaden? I think his line's playing up a bit still. But obviously, yeah, obviously, we are hopefully going to have Jonesy coming on in a bit. Obviously, he's going to talk about his Division 1 winning Atletico Madrid team. Neri's having some network issues. Obviously, whilst we're waiting for the others to join, we'll just do a quick go through of the league tables, the final league tables for season 14. So, Division 1 was won by Atletico Madrid. Jay Jones managed to win it by 5 points. It was Atletico's first title in, I'm going to say, it was Atletico's first title in 8 seasons since 9S won it in season 6. He beat out Jibril's Wolves. Wolves picked up their highest ever finished in EMG with the second place on 49. And then the final three Champions Cup places, sorry, 4 places were taken up by Rennes, Arsenal, Man City, and Dortmund. So they're the 6 plus PSG that will go to the Champions Cup in the middle of November. Lazio comes 7th. PSG had a disappointing title defence, finishing 8th. A lot of that probably to do with an old aging squad and just him not having gold up until after the season finished. He was the last to transfer over to get gold. Bami's Napoli come 9th. Another disappointing season from him. Obviously, it was another situation where he didn't get gold until later on. And yeah, they're 2 teams that potentially could be in a precarious position next year. 10th place, Milan. Milan seemed dead to rights midway through the season. Obviously, Gift stood down, and then Cal moved up from Division 4 to take him. Cal done a great job, especially once his gold account went in and to getting them to safety, and really showed Gift up a bit. Obviously, as he's been voted the worst manager of the season by his fellow managers. And then the guy he just beat out that we all love to troll. Obviously, he's not here today on the podcast for some reason, but Mr. Lorano's Liverpool coming 11th, staying up on goal difference. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say that we've not said in the group chat. It's pathetic. It's it's pathetic that how bad Liverpool have been. But yeah, and he couldn't even win the playoff for the Challenge Cup. And then the bottom three were Villarreal, Inter Milan, and Borussia Mönchengladbach, who two of those teams just got promoted up to Mainworld, come up, went back down. Gladbach have been in the game in Division One for quite a long time, for most of the Game World's history. Um, they finished, obviously, Uche, when he was at Gladbach, did go for ratings. Obviously, they're a bit older, and obviously they declined. Harry Banty quit, and then came back to take another club. And then Nelsfam, who took them over, couldn't keep them up. And yeah, I I think those three teams next season, they're gonna. I don't personally don't see any of them returning back to Mainwood. I I think maybe at most they might be playoff teams, but I don't think they get promoted next year to Division One. And then in Division Two, we had the winner was Babajide's Barcelona, another podcast host who's not here today. He was second for most of the season, but Flamengo had a little bit of a dip in form, a couple of draws, and Babajide got 16 points out of 18 to secure the title by a point. Hilltops Flamengo got promoted back after I think 3 seasons outside of Division One, and then the playoffs were me, my Real Madrid, Saskid Benfica, Sened Leon, and Leeds Tottenham. Tottenham did get promoted to back up to Division One. They beat me on penalties, and then they actually won 2 games on penalties, beat me, and then Saskid in the final on pens. So Tottenham have been out of main Division One for about 4 or 5 seasons now, so they make a return after quite a few years out. Um, I think those teams are probably going to be um, they'll be tough to play against next year. Division One's going to be really interesting. And then the teams who sort of came mid-table, at seventh place Bayern Munich, eighth place Real Betis. JJ has been making some excuses. Aston Villa, they finished ninth in the end, went on a bit of a run of form to get out of the relegation zone. Sociedad come 10th, Porto come 11th, and then the bottom three was Scopa's Leipzig, Marco's Leicester City, and then David's Lille. Um, Leipzig, that's just a mix of bad management. They shouldn't have been relegated. Leicester, I think the change, Marco did a bit of a rebuild to get his Portuguese boys in, and yeah, they took a hit. And then Lille is just a long term effect of bad recruitment from Okachukwu. And yeah, they've had back to back relegations down to Division 3. And then in Division 3, our guest here today, Jaden, his Bilbao team won by 5 points, on 55 points, 5 points ahead of Everton on 50. Bojan, I think, would actually be a bit disappointed he didn't actually get to win the league. Bojan wants to win every league, especially in EMG. He he didn't win this one, come in second, and then the four playoff teams were Atalanta in third on 43, Sevilla in fourth on 43, United in fifth on 41, and then Chelsea in sixth on 40 points. Um, Atalanta secured a very surprising promotion, and I'd like to congratulate Ireland for getting them up. Atalanta have never actually been promoted. First ever time they're one of the few teams that um, they've never been promoted and never been relegated. They've always been in Division 3, and he managed to, after all those difficult seasons under him and previously under Vinny, they secured promotion for the first ever time up in Division 2, beating Rashini's United, and obviously beating their old manager in the semi-final, Pippin Vinny. Waiting for it to load. And then obviously Mr. Bottler, who's having network issues currently. He finished down in seventh, missing out on goal difference. Um, I think Mary's pretty happy with how the season went, to be honest. I think Leverkusen, previously under Rashini and LeBron, um, they were sort of they won a cup under Rashini, but previously to that they were bottom of Division Three. Sort of not a particularly brilliant competitive team. And yeah, I think it's building blocks for him. Obviously, he'll be looking to push next year to get into the playoff spots. Division Three is going to be interesting next year. There's potential to have some very good managers in Division Three. But yeah, he I think now he's fairly happy with seventh and missing out on goal difference, and it's a good first season. Juventus, who have had a change in management, Pane stepped down this week, and Moses Alabi left Man City in Division One, dropped onto Division Three to the Juventus job. Um, Pane finished eighth with them this season, which is a bit disappointing. I mean, Pane, it's some bad recruitment over the years. Probably saw them not perform up to standards. Be interesting to see how amazing does. Previously, obviously getting Monaco promoted to Division Two from Division Three, and I think potentially he could do well next year. Joe did pretty well with Palace after a slow start. Palace finished ninth on 33 points. Um, they're a team next year that probably one of the favourites. Roma down in 10th, finishing 30 points. Just a club that has consistent managerial changes. Just need a bit of stability and something to build on. Marseille came 11th on 28. Razor Nino moved up from to replace Amazing actually and took the Man City job. Marseille are now managed by Tom Rose. And in the bottom three, all tied on points. Valencia, the cup winners, finished 12th on 23. Monaco finished 13th on 23. And then in last place, Ajax on 23, with a worse goal difference, came bottom of the whole game world. Jaden, is there any teams that have surprised you this year, and any teams that in any teams you think have overperformed, and any teams you think have underperformed?
I mean, in terms of overperforming, one team I didn't expect was probably Flamengo in going for the title
Yeah,
because they recently got promoted, I believe, like from Division 3, and to go on and actually challenge now in such a short span is a good achievement, I feel.
yeah. Anyone you
And
think
in terms
under? Oh,
in terms of probably underachieving, I would say the Juventus team has to be one of the more promising teams with a lot of players with high potential. So I believe
yeah,
they've been underperforming to an extent.
yeah. I think it's between Liverpool, Milan, um, Betis, potential Leipzig, and probably Juventus. The ones that have had disappointing seasons that are going to be having to really perform next year. I think some managers have, I mean, probably happy that we don't sack. We're not like MYT and sack managers for lack of performance, because some guys have not performed up to what they should be doing with the clubs they have, and yeah, I think um, it's going to be crunch time next year. Obviously, as for just an overall season roundup, um, if we look at, obviously, Valencia won the cup back in September. They beat Atletico Madrid surprisingly in the final. They've had a managerial change as well, so I'll go on to that in a bit. Obviously, Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3 were won by Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Bilbao, all Spanish teams. And then, as for the SMFA tournaments, the SMFA Cup was won by Atletico Madrid again, and the Shield was won by Wolves. Um, Obviously, the World Cup is ongoing as well, and just having a little look in that now. Um, yeah, so obviously we are currently in the World Cup at the moment, which I think everybody, all but one team, are managed. So to get 31 out of 32 teams managed is pretty brilliant, to be honest. Um, Obviously, which nation do you manage? Are you managing a nation?
Oh, yeah, I'm managing Poland.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're actually playing each other today. Actually, the results will be in for that in a bit. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So obviously, yeah. Obviously, that's the final group games are on today. Um, they'll get decided in the next um, 5 to 10 minutes. Obviously, as well, regarding recent changes, obviously we've had a couple of managers since the last episode leave, so we haven't actually sacked anyone. But the Galatasaray manager disliked no balance left because his gold expired. So he was replaced by Tom Joseph, who was previously at Ajax. And then we also had Pane leave Juventus. Amazing took his job. Razanino then took the Man City job, and Thomas Rose moved up from Division 4 to take Marseille. And then the final change in Mainworld was Henry stood down. He won't be getting gold until for another couple of weeks, so he stood down to take a sabbatical. And Mark Spicer moved up from Division 4 to take Valencia in Division 3. Obviously, Mark has wide experience in these type of game modes, especially VMA, and we'll be hoping he will beat Kenyan Fraud, which will be his main aim to beat JJ. And then with regards to Division 4, we've had three new managers. So obviously, as previously mentioned, Tom Joseph took Galatasaray. Um, another one missed out as well is Garoff was asked to leave Monaco due to inactivity. And Poundy moved up to take them in Division 3. And with regard to Division 4 changes, obviously, as mentioned, Tom Joseph took Galatasaray job. I'd like to welcome back Nines to EMG. He takes over Celtic. And a guy called Kaka from Nigeria. He is the new manager of Salzburg in Division 4. And also as well, Olympiakos. Gurtin Michi from Albania took the Olympiakos job um, in the last couple of days. Um, so, obviously, with regards to obviously next season, have you obviously also as well is there's going to be a certain player that will be available tomorrow for the Division 3 managers. Um, Obviously, Jaden now being in Division 2, it's more than likely that he won't get them. But do you expect all 14 managers or 11 managers at least to bid for Alvarez tomorrow?
yeah, definitely. I feel that most players or people in Division 3 have even been selling players for a
Yeah.
massive amount of cash just in anticipation for that.
Yeah, so obviously admins have been noticing recently that there has been some cash deals to generate funds by Division 3 guys to be able to sign Julian Alvarez, who obviously was on level 2 concern somehow at Barcelona, and obviously, as the rules state, sold externally. And obviously, he has. We have noticed a few guys have been selling some players for cash.
to be able to sign him. Um, Obviously, as well, we've also noticed there's a few got good quality players who've, maybe because of the Alvarez deal, have actually gone through the cracks, as they say. And obviously, they're obviously when a player goes on concerns, Division Three gets 7 days inclusive to sign that player. There is some very good quality players, um, 89s, even a 90, and a couple of 88s, 89s that have gone through the cracks and are going to be available to everyone, um, either tomorrow or in the next couple of days. I'm obviously not going to name them, but yeah, I mean, it's having such a high quality player like a 92 um, come available has obviously meant that players that usually would get snapped up within a couple of days by Division Three are now likely to go and end up at main world clubs, which if you manage in Division One or Division Two, great, extra depth. But obviously, Division Three guys, I imagine still played for them as well. And obviously, as well, just wait and see if Jonesy's going to be on yet. So, um, is that international scoring yet? It might be 9 o'clock actually. No, they're not in yet. Right. Um, right. I'll just see if Cameron Jones is going to be. Okay. Obviously, as well. Obviously, in the next 2 weeks, obviously, I mentioned today that there's going to be a few podcasts that are going to be coming out. Obviously, we've done one in the last 6 months or so. But obviously, oh, sorry, 6 weeks to 3 months. But obviously, with the new season starting next week, there will be another podcast next, either next Saturday or next Sunday, most likely next Saturday, which will be a preview to the new season for Mainworld. That will likely be next Saturday, with the season starting Sunday. And in between those dates, obviously, there's going to be previews for the Champions and Challenge Cup. So I'm going to look to get some write-ups done for Main World and Main World D4 for the Champions and Challenge Cup, split them in two. And then obviously I get another one done for Africa and then Legends Europe as well as MENA once the MENA season's done, so we know what teams are going to be qualified. But those should give in-depth analysis for what teams are going to be competing in the tournaments and who the manager is and what their teams are like, basically. Obviously, I know not every manager is. Some managers are just in EMG. Some managers are in all four game worlds, and it'll give an idea of the quality of the clubs that are in some of the other game worlds, um, to give a better idea. And also, as well, um, there's going to be a Hall of Fame vote done in the next couple of days. Um, we do have a 10-man list. It is just a process of waiting to get it posted. I'll have to get write-ups done for that as well, because obviously some managers are not managed in this game world for about 2 years, and the majority are not going to know who they are. Um, so to give an idea of who's who, I'll do a write-up on them. Final thing, Jaden, who would you vote as your manager of the season?
I would honestly have to say the Atletico Madrid manager. He's done a lot that's very impressive for
Yeah,
someone that just took over the role.
yeah. So obviously, Jonesy's been there for about 4 seasons now since 9S left. And obviously they've had a bit of teething issues come middle pack. They've played in the Challenge Cup a few times, not qualified out of the group stage, or they've been knocked out first round of the Challenge Cup. But obviously this year, seemingly all clicked, and won the SMFA Champions Cup, or the SMFA Cup, comes runner-up medals in the EMG Cup, and obviously won Atleti's first Division One title in 8 seasons. And obviously he'll be hoping to do a treble in a couple of weeks and secure a Champions Cup. Um, so yeah, I mean, for me, I'd probably say either probably Jonesy, or I'd actually say um, I'd actually go sort of I'd actually say amazing at Man City, because that Man City team is rubbish, and it's old, and to drag them to fifth in the league. Obviously, he's now moved to take Juventus. That's a phenomenal achievement, and obviously, I think Man City, we all thought when Bammy left, and the preceding managers were there and then left, that they're going to drop like a rock and just fall down the leagues. They sort of stabilised in the league a bit, but obviously, um, it's a case of obviously with a new manager in charge now, it may be a case then that they drop down, but I got to give Moses credit. He's done really well to stabilise them and keep them up in uh, qualify them for the Champions Cup. And it'll be interesting to see how Razor does in the Champions Cup with Man City um, in 2 weeks' time, and see if he can maybe contend with them, or get past first round. Right, I'm not sure the others are going to be joining by the looks of it. Um, so quickly wrap this up. So yeah, I think that's going to be all today. Um, I think Mary's having network issues, and I don't think Jonesy's online, and the others aren't available. So this is just a quick like season review. Um, Obviously, thank you for coming on today, Jaden. And then obviously, hopefully, you can do well in Division Two next year.
Yeah, definitely hoping so. And thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's a wrap, and we'll speak to you. We'll do another one soon. Also, as well, um, EMG Americas, that'll be out January 2025. Um, we've done step one. I've announced the logo. We'll be announcing the clubs, and so it'll be 40 teams, 4 leagues. That'll be announced in November, and then there'll be sort of similar to SM's timeline. There'll be further updates in December and January. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, cheers.
All right. Thanks.